listening to the Sportz Nuts.
Hey, yes, you are watching the Sportz Nuts. We are coming live to you. Well, I'm coming live to you as you see. I'm in the car. We
I
are
see.
actually about 6 minutes away from Mom's house. Yes, we have made the trip, guys, down to Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out, by the way. There's my wife saying hi to you. And as you see, the girls are in the car. Oh man, this has been an interesting week to say the least. Matt, how are you doing though, man?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just got finished with them. Just got back home. I think I finished with them slots in Sin City. But other than that,
The
um,
slots of
you know,
Sin City.
good week, man. Good week.
How much did you make, by the way?
And undisclose them out.
So zero is what I'm thinking. So what you're telling me is
You you,
you
you never
you
you
went
never
with money, you
asked.
came back with none.
I'm sorry. What was that? Can you repeat yourself?
No. You never asked a man how much money he's won. You
How much did
asked
you
him how much
lose?
he's lost.
How much did
You
you
ask him
lose,
how much
Matt?
he's lost, and then you
Yeah,
ask him what's for dinner. That's what you
So,
do.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
ramen
So,
noodles.
so so if you lost a lot, but you're still eating steak and shrimp,
Then
you
you're
might have
all
won a
right.
little bit.
Oh man,
Just a
gonna
little.
hit him. Gonna
Oh
hit up
man,
Stony. Gonna hit up
Shane.
Stony River after this, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man.
Stony River, what drive through?
No, man, it's the steak place over there in Alpharetta, man,
I
for
know,
Johns Creek
I
area,
know,
which is the area
I
you're
know.
gonna
We're
be
going.
around.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm in right
yeah,
now. Hey,
yeah.
my man sitting below me though, Shane. How was your week, man?
Oh man, it was good. We made big parts small and within tolerance, and
Within
you
tolerance.
know, hey, we got her done. It's Friday.
Yes. Get
We're
her
here,
done.
and oh yeah, well, we got a couple night races, truck race fixing to come on, as well as some Little League World Series on, and y'all's Falcons special
That's
teams
right.
needs to pick it.
Rise up.
Yeah, special teams needs to pick it up. By the way,
Yeah.
but
Hey.
other than that, man, been doing good, and really excited for tonight's episode, and can't wait to get into it.
Oh yeah. By the way, just saw the sign for these houses, 1.7 plus. Good gracious. I'm in the wrong industry. But hey, guys, yes, as you just heard, we have a fantastic show lined up. We have a really special guest. His name is Lance Meadow. He is, or Meadow, he'll tell us how you say his last name, but he is the play-by-play announcer for the New York Giants. Yes, he's going to come on and talk to us.
Oh,
And then
really?
after,
Oh,
yeah, and then after he leaves, I have a couple good topics. The first one I have a picture I've uploaded on there. Who is the favorite to win the Heisman? I got three choices, and I'm gonna kind of see if you guys agree with them, and then maybe you can give me your takes as to who you think could also be a runner for the Heisman.
I'm ready for this one. I
And
got
then
about a whole page of notes ready to go.
and
So,
I got a really cool story too. So according to On Three Sports and the Associated Press, who is the most underrated college football team? I have a picture. I'll show it to you, and I can't wait to go to that with you in a minute. And then also, University of Nevada, by the way, is in the news. They just opened up their $28 million indoor practice facility. It's not just for the football program, it's for all sports. We'll talk a little bit about that. I can't wait to talk about that one. And then, guys, maybe who would you want to replace or even add? There is a picture I'm going to share with you, and I want you guys to just be prepared. Remember, we're driving, so I don't have like a detailed everything, but I'm going to show it. Matt is going to talk about fantasy football. Shane's got a sports story he shares. We're going to do our honorable mentions. We were going to have John from the Pitch Good podcast join us. Unfortunately, fortunately, he may be welcoming his daughter at any time. So, yes, unfortunately, he is not going to join us. That's okay. We still have plenty to talk about. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman we're about to bring on, I can't wait to any longer. Lance, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
how's it going?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Glad to
Of
have you.
course. All
Glad to
right,
have you.
so we want you to. Can you tell everybody how to say your last name, please?
Sure, it's pretty simple. It's Meadow. Just
Meadow,
acted.
okay.
A is not in the last name. That's all. I had to be special, and we had to spell it differently than everybody else. So it's as simple as that.
Absolutely, nothing wrong with that one, man. I gotta tell you, I really appreciate you coming on. We absolutely are honored that you've come on. I'm gonna go right into it. You know, the Giants, they've had a little bit of rough times. I mean, if I had to put my thumb to it, you guys haven't had a real successful season since the Eli era, if I'm not mistaken. You know, and the future though, it is looking really bright for the New York Giants. I mean, you guys literally have a electric standout defensive end in Abdul Carter. What have you seen this offseason, training camp, everything that can say that, man, this team, you better watch out. This team is legit.
Well, first of all, they did make the playoffs in 2022. But to your point, over the last decade, it has not been pretty and really even extended since they won their last Super Bowl in 2011. I think what you were hitting on is what the excitement is all about, at least heading into the season, revolves around the depth that they have up front. And Abdul Carter is the latest installment, but he joins Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, as well as Dexter Lawrence. And I think the division rival, coincidentally, the Philadelphia Eagles, even the Dallas Cowboys to a certain degree, have proven you need depth. You need the ability to rotate guys, keep them fresh come the fourth quarter. And the Giants are trying to trend in that direction. But in this day and age, with how quickly quarterbacks get rid of the football, as great as it looks on paper, with having maybe 4 to 5, maybe 6 to 7 guys of quality up front, there's a way to neutralize them, and that is opposing quarterbacks not holding on to the football. So they still are going to need their secondary to come to play. They're going to need sticky coverage. They're going to need to create takeaways, which was a big issue, very problematic last season. But they definitely have firepower up front that if the secondary can do its job and those guys can finish and get home, it could go a long way in helping an offense that has struggled immensely over the last few seasons.
Absolutely. I completely understand what you're saying. Shane, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, as you know, we know a little bit about you, and probably our audience knows a little bit less about you. You know, you're a radio guy, you're a TV guy, you're all sports kind of guy. You know what I mean? You know, but as a radio guy and all, you have to kind of ensure the enthusiasm and the captiveness of your audience and stuff. You know, with that being said, what are some of your most memorable calls and stuff that you've had through your career? You know, especially now with the Giants and the Ivy League that I've seen that you cover, and especially the high school sports, because I know that's a pretty big thing up that way.
Sure. Well, I just want to first clarify, I'm not the play-by-play announcer in the New York Giants. I've covered the team for many years. I was the pre-half and post-game host on the radio network for a decade, so I have extensive coverage of the Giants, but Bob Papa is their radio voice, so I can't say that I have a favorite call with respect to that element. But Shane, as you eloquently laid out, I do have a lot of play-by-play experience for Columbia University, the Ivy League, high school stuff. I've done national work for Westwood One Sports. I've called the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournament. So in terms of answering your question from that realm, number one that comes to mind is when I had an opportunity to call the first four for the NCAA men's basketball tournament a few seasons ago. That was clearly a highlight, to go to Ohio and just encapsulate that entire environment. I love college basketball. Columbia's had some highlights on the women's basketball side. I called several Ivy League championships, and they had a very lengthy drought. So for them to turn the corner and have it happen in New York City was great. And the football team last year won its first Ivy League championship in multiple decades. And now they're looking to build off what was a very exciting campaign. And they had to wait for a few results after the game I called at home against Cornell to end last season. But that clearly comes to mind. I've had an opportunity to call the NIT at Madison Square Garden, which is right in my backyard here in New York City, for Westwood One Sports, when Penn State won the NIT championship several years back. So, I mean, there's a number of events that I could sit here and we could talk about it till we're all blue in our faces. But there's definitely a lot that I take pride in being behind the mic, whether it be on radio as well as television.
Good. Now, Lance, once again, we want to thank you for coming on the show and joining us today, man. We really appreciate it. I'm originally from New Jersey, so although I'm a Falcons fan, all of my family are Giants fans, with the exception of one Cowboy fan that we have, unfortunately. But I noticed you mentioned some of the players that you guys have on defense, like Kevon Thibodeau, the rookie you guys got in Abdul Carter. But what I'm pretty sure me and all the fans want to know is, what do you think the offensive identity is going to be of this team this year?
Well, I think it starts with running the football, Matt. That's what they're going to need to do, even though they just brought in Russell Wilson, which I think is a huge upgrade over the multitude of quarterbacks that played last season. They can't expect him to go out and throw the ball 45, 47 times per game. I think if you look at NFL trends, the more times you put the ball in the air, even as good as Russell Wilson has been throughout his career with respect to touchdown to interception ratios, in all likelihood, something's going to go wrong. And the Giants, I don't think, are built to be a pass-happy team. Even though they do have Malik Neighbors, there's some questions about the durability of some of their other wide receivers and whether or not those guys can deliver consistently. They've got 3 running backs that they can divvy up the workload, who all bring something different to the table. They have the veteran Devin Singletary. They have Tyrone Tracy, who's coming off a really nice rookie year and really started to show some signs of what he could do in the second half of last season. And they just drafted Cam Scadaboo, who I think was one of their best picks, not named Abdul Carter, because he's a tough guy. He's a bulldozer, but he also can catch the ball out of the backfield. And that's important in today's NFL. So those 3 guys, and Scadaboo, by the way, is right now nursing a hamstring injury. So there's still questions about how healthy he's going to be to start the season. But that, to me, could be the blueprint of what gets them going. This is an offense that has struggled to score 20 points per game in the last few seasons. And good luck trying to be competitive. Forget winning football games. If you're hovering around 15 to 17 points per game, that's anemic. I mean, let's not make excuses. And they're not going to have any shot, especially within their division. So if they can run the ball effectively, number one, you're resting the defense. You're also, you figure, putting yourself in manageable third downs. And in order to finish in the red zone, any good team in recent or past history has proven they can pound the football when they get inside the 10-yard line. So to me, that's a must. I think they have the personnel to operate with that being their identity. And if they don't have that facet working for them, I think it's going to be a very long season. Not to say that Russell Wilson can't work his magic time and time again, but they're just going to become very predictable. And the Giants' offensive line is not built for the quarterback to drop back that many times that I mentioned and have success. So they've got to push the pile forward. It starts and ends, to me, with the run game.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask this question for Brandon as he's trying to log back on. So tell us, what's the feeling around New York about these Giants, man? Is Dayball's however you say it right? I'm sorry, Dayball. Is this seat hot? The ball. Is this seat hot, or is he okay? Like what's the overall feeling of this team in your area?
Well, I think if you know the New York, New Jersey area very well, Matt, which you mentioned based on family, I think you know how New York fans react. And they're impatient, they're restless, and they want a winning product. So if you look at how the previous 2 seasons went, yeah, they're pretty antsy. I think it's fair to say. Skeptical is perhaps a term that comes to mind. Now, I'm generalizing. There's a lot of fans that are also excited because we're in the point of the year, right, where every fan base has the right to be excited. We haven't had any meaningful football games. So if you think your team's going to turn the corner, do it now as opposed to 3 or 4 weeks into the season when reality all of a sudden sets in. As far as Daboll is concerned, yeah, there's a lot of pressure on him. But I think if you had a heart-to-heart with Brian Daboll, he would admit that himself. He knows that after a surprising first season in 2022, when they went 9-7-1 and made the playoffs, and I think if you go back and you look at that season, not to take anything away from that team, but they were walking a very tight rope, a lot of close games. that could have easily went the opposite way. Saquon Barkley put that entire offense on his shoulders.
Yes, he did.
And if that doesn't happen, we're probably not talking about the Giants in that same light. But hey, the record is what the record is, and they had that nice win against the Vikings, and then reality set in against a much tougher opponent, the Eagles. The last 2 seasons, they weren't walking that fine line. They were walking on the opposite end of the spectrum where the law of average is not going to come to the rescue. So I think he understands they've got to bounce back. But here's the other thing that I think Giants fans and teams and individuals that are not invested in the Giants have to look at it through. And I have said this on multiple programs, and this is not me campaigning for Brian Daboll's job. Let me make this crystal clear. But when you draft a quarterback like Jackson Dart and you move up to grab him, if you look at what NFL history has shown, and I love to bring up Alex Smith as the best example. If you guys recall, Alex Smith, when he went to the Niners, he had 7 different offensive coordinators in his first 8 seasons. And notice his career did not turn for the better until Jim Harbaugh came along and brought Greg Roman as his offensive coordinator, and they coincidentally went up against the Giants in the NFC Championship game. But what was the change? The change was stability for Alex Smith. He got healthy, but he also had the same scheme for back-to-back years. And he had the same system, and there was comfort. So the reason why I'm bringing up Jackson Dart, hypothetically, let's go down the road that they have a decent season, but it's not a winning record, and they don't make the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. And maybe Giants management decides they want to go in a different direction. Okay, that means Jackson Dart, who just went through this system as a sponge, assuming he's watching from the sideline and being a spectator, now is going to have to click on the reset button. And he's going to have to learn an entire new offense and a new coaching staff. Is that the best game plan for the well-being and health of a quarterback? And I could take you through a lot of other young quarterbacks, Mark Sanchez, Justin Fields now more recently. It's the worst way to screw up a quarterback. And guys, a lot of NFL franchises are guilty of screwing them up more said than helping. So this is not me campaigning for somebody to save their job, and I'm not one who would campaign for anyone to lose their job. It's a tough industry, coaching in the NFL. The turnover rate is unlike anything else we've seen. But let's not be naive. When you don't win for multiple seasons, that seat starts to heat up. So a very long-winded answer, Matt, to answer your question.
Great
feeling
answer.
The pressure. He's feeling the heat. There's no doubt about it. And if they don't prove that they can be at least competitive this season, it's going to be a very tough sell.
Yep. Go ahead, Shane.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, as me and you both kind of alluded to, you cover many different sports. And so I kind of want to veer off from the Giants and the football aspect of New York right now. And, just get who you are as a person.
You have enough time to unravel all those layers, Shane? I don't know. Well, you're getting very deep on me here.
We'll peel them back a little bit at a time.
Okay, sounds good.
As time allows. But, with that being said, as we mentioned, you cover many different sports. What's kind of your favorite kind of sport to cover, and why do you enjoy it?
Well, the short answer, at least on the play-by-play side, is I love basketball. I don't think anything matches the intensity of calling a basketball game. It's the sport I grew up playing, so I am connected to it through that lens as an athlete. And then I love the pace of basketball, especially if there's no timeouts and the refs are swallowing the whistles. You can go back and forth multiple possessions and get an exciting flow without any interruption. I don't think there's another sport, maybe with the exception of hockey, that can match wits with the game of basketball. So that would be my answer on the play-by-play side. In terms of watching, talking, consuming, basketball, as I mentioned, is right up there. But, football certainly has a very special place. The reason why I love talking about football, and specifically on the NFL side, the fact that the season is only for a few months, there's a lot of buildup to this point in training camp. We wait forever, it seems, getting through the draft and OTAs to get to this stage where we're starting to come back with some meaningful conversation. And every week there is something to talk about, digest, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. You're going to find something with every franchise that I guarantee you I can make interesting to a national audience on any given program. And I don't think the other sports maintain that balance. In the NBA, it's a marathon. Too many teams make the playoffs. You could skip the first 3 months and I could still have a reason to tune in. Hockey's also long with 82 some odd games. And baseball, don't get me started, with 162. And I never was fond of them expanding the postseason. I thought it was great when we had 4 teams in each league, because now you could sell me on the meaning of 162. The NFL is the perfect balance. There's not too many games. The season's not very long. Every game is important. They build up the drama, the intensity. So I don't think anything matches talking about the National Football League on a consistent basis.
Absolutely. And since you went ahead and did it, and not I, you went ahead and alluded to basketball, which is, that's actually my background as well. We're going to go ahead, and I guess I would be remiss if we didn't mention the Knickerbockers. Tell me, with this offseason that they've had and with the upcoming season, as far as all of these, primetime players that are in the East that are dealing with Achilles injuries right now, what do you think the Knicks have to do to maintain the top spot? Because as far as all the teams that I see in the East, they have to be one of the favorites. So what do they need to do in order to maintain that title and to get to the finals so they can actually win the title? First title since when?
Well, you got to go back to the 1970s. Yeah, I was going to say, Matt, you really are using title extremely loosely on this program. The Knicks and title do not go together, okay? So,
You said it, not me. Listen, not me.
I grew up, I know I'm a New York City guy, but let me make this crystal clear. I was a Bulls fan growing up, and I should use it in the present tense. I'm still a Bulls fan. Yes, I'm guilty of jumping on the Jordan bandwagon, but I was a young kid. It's not as if, I didn't pay my dues, okay?
Yes.
When I was growing up in the 90s, I understood what greatness was all about, and I have rode with them ever since. Derrick Rose and his torn ACL and everything else in between. Okay, so you want to call me a front runner? That's fine. I got my boxing gloves up. Okay, I'm ready to go with anybody, even though I'm not wearing gloves.
Hey! I'm one of the advocates in Trae Young coming through to crush those buildings every time. I love it when Trae Young comes to New York. So
so do I. Listen, I was at Jordan's 55-point game, his double nickel game. Okay, my dad had Knicks season tickets growing up, so I'd go to Knicks games. I mean, I love the atmosphere of the Garden, but I'd root for the Chicago Bulls every time Chicago was the road team. So I know what it's like to be in that building, but I think Knicks fans need to slow down, okay? And just to show you, the city went out of its way to name streets after the players, and what good did that give them? A loss to Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals. So there's a lot of premature celebration in New York City.
Current players?
Oh, current players.
They named streets after current players?
Yeah, you didn't get that memo, Matt? You didn't
I did not get that memo.
Listen, I know you may be, having Atlanta ties right now, but you got to scroll through social media here and there. They named New York City streets after the current Knicks players simply because the team made the Eastern Conference Finals.
So you tell me there's a Tom Thibodeau? Is there a Tom Thibodeau?
I don't think it was. Well, Brandon, I don't think it was after the coach. I think it was only players. So there was a Mikal Bridges Street and a Carl Anthony Towns Avenue. I do not kid. I do not kid on these programs.
Was the Carl Anthony Towns Avenue one way?
Shane, the puns just roll off your tongue. Yeah. Well, considering the team did not play any defense during their postseason run, they were all one-way streets as far as I'm concerned. They knew how to play offense but not play defense. So that would be extremely fitting. Yes, for all of the streets to be one way. Or not even alternate side parking, meaning you can never park in terms of the streets too. I would throw it. And that's another New York City reference for those that are paying close attention from afar. But in all seriousness, to answer your question, they don't need to maintain the title because they have to earn it first. They have to earn the first spot, Matt, okay? And I don't think we should sleep on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who did not suffer an injury, knock on wood, to one of their star players. And I know their disappointing postseason run is going to bring on the critics, and that's fine. Listen, I'm a big believer in you got to show me. This is not a participation trophy effort. You earn the respect by putting together a deep postseason run. But in fairness, the Knicks just got a participation trophy themselves. So Cleveland is one team that I certainly wouldn't sleep on. I know the Celtics lost Jason Tatum, but there's still a lot of talent on that team. I don't think they're going to fall off a cliff. Indiana lost Halliburton. That team was very deep, and they proved it by beating the Knicks. So I think if there's any team that could absorb an injury to a star player, I think it is the Indiana Pacers. Orlando's a team that made some interesting moves this offseason. They could certainly be in a position to move up the ladder. There's going to be some teams in the East that I think teams should pay attention to. And I'm not saying that the Knicks are going to disappear. Don't get me wrong. But that team, if they want to be serious this season, and remember, they got rid of Tibbs. They bring in Mike Brown, who is a defensive-minded coach. But until I see the Knicks play consistent defense, I'm not willing to crown them, because that's the facet that has to dramatically improve. And the other thing that I think became a liability was the lack of depth, whether it was Tibbs' inability to play guys off the bench or the lack of their production. But I named you two different things and facets that have to steer in the opposite direction for them to crown themselves title holders or maintain in that conversation.
I like that, and I apologize for coming late. So I actually traveled to Atlanta. We're having some issues with my stepdad. Unfortunately, his health is very ailing and deteriorating rapidly. So we're down to spend time with him. But, I got to ask this question. We did see the 2026 Hall of Fame class eligible players. It did come out. It was released. And, of course, one name that we did not see on there is Eli Manning. I don't think he's quite eligible just yet.
No, he is eligible, Brandon. I don't mean to cut you off. Yeah, Eli was eligible last year and was a finalist but did not get through. So
do you think he's going to get this year?
I don't. But to answer your question, the reason why you didn't see his name was because he's already been in the mix. They were releasing the names that were first up in 2026, like Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, and Jason Witten, who are the three that I think are of note heading the class. But to get back to your question, and I've said this on Giants programs, I've said this on non-Giants programs, Eli Manning, I think, is going to have to wait a pretty long time if he does get in. And the reason being is, first of all, guys, Antonio Gates, who got in this year, okay, he wasn't even a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, when you think of the greatest tight ends in NFL history, you're going to tell me Antonio Gates does not come to mind, regardless of the team.
I say Tony Gonzalez, and then I say Antonio Gates. That's one and two. Those are the two you have to say.
Hey, Witten had a heck of a career too now.
He's the third one. He's on that. He's the third.
He is the third member. One of the smallest classes that the NFL Hall of Fame has had in 30-plus years.
Correct. Yeah, it was, I think, 4 for the first time since, I want to say, 2002. So we went about 2 decades without having this small group. But that's also, Shane, because they improved the difficulty and the voting to get in. And I think it should be difficult to get into any Hall of Fame, okay? If it was that easy, then it wouldn't be the Hall of Fame.
Well, the voting should change as the game changes.
Without a doubt. Of course, because the style of play has changed. Scoring is going up. Statistics are therefore going to go up. So how can you compare Joe Namath, per se, to a quarterback of now? It's almost as if they played 2 completely different sports. But with respect
but both deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, though.
No debate. No, without a doubt. 100%. Because what you're saying is you have to look at quarterbacks within the element and context of their playing days and their errors. So you can't say, well, Joe Namath didn't have 4,000 some odd passing yards. Yeah, because he played during a time where they were running the football and the quarterback wasn't dropping back 1,000 times, and it wasn't fantasy football that we were all viewing. Now, Eli played in more of a pass-happy era. There's no doubt about it. But if you look at his regular season resume, and to me, a career in which you win 2 Super Bowls that was also aided by a great team effort, such as a really good defense and a run game that came alive, that does not dismiss the helmet catch by David Tyree, no doubt about it.
And luck.
And luck. Listen, everybody's got to be lucky to win a Super Bowl. You go back
no.
Absolutely.
That was a different level of luck. That was a different level of luck. That was Falcon 28-3 Tom Brady luck. That's
well, you know what I say about that play? It's not even, Matt, by the way, the David Tyree catch. It's the fact that the officials could have blown the whistle because Eli was wrapped up, if you remember, and they gave him the wiggle room to get out of that sack. You go back, you watch the front end of that play, he should have been sacked.
Yep.
There really was no excuse for the Patriots, and they could have even blown the whistle. They bought him time. He got out of it, threw up a prayer. Listen, the rest is history. We don't need to revisit that game. It's no different than Tom Brady, who we don't have to debate his Hall of Fame status. If Malcolm Butler does not come up with that play, Tom may have one less Super Bowl right now. And I'm not holding that against him, but I'm being an equal opportunist, okay? I look at Eli, I look at Brady, I look at everybody the same way. I don't get the pom-poms out here, okay? I'm not here to help the campaigns of individuals and teams. I'm telling you, and I'm calling it straight down the middle like I see it. Eli Manning's regular season resume is solid from a durability standpoint. He deserves a lot of credit. You knew what you were getting out of Eli. He was reliable. He was on the field. But if you look at him through the regular season lens to Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger, who are in the same draft class, it's not a wow me factor. It's the 2 Super Bowl runs that puts him in a very unique class. But you have to ask yourself as a voter, you have to ask yourself as a fan, specifically even as a Giants fan, do I define a career based on 2 small postseason runs, or do I define a career based on 15 years of NFL service? And to me, I go with the latter more so than the former. There's a lot of other talented NFL players that have won Super Bowls as part of really good teams, but that doesn't mean that I'm now going to overlook everything that happened during a 16-game slate. So that's personally how I look at Eli Manning, and that's why I think if he gets in, I think he's going to have to wait a very, very long time. Remember, there are other quarterbacks, okay, like Jim Plunkett, who have won multiple Super Bowls and are not in. So I don't want to hear people always tell me, well, Eli and everybody else who has that resume, Plunkett begs to differ from that standpoint. So it's not unheard of. And one other caveat, as I continue to get up on my soapbox here at the expense of your program, Kurt Warner's name has been brought up a lot, specifically by Giants fans, because Kurt was the quarterback who was ahead of Eli during his rookie year. But if you look at what Kurt has compared to Eli, Kurt led the NFL in passing yards, was an MVP in the regular season, was up there in completion percentage. Eli doesn't have those individual regular season marks. He's got the 2 Super Bowls. He's got the MVPs, okay? But I'm talking about regular season consistency. There are other quarterbacks that have gotten in who have that attractiveness on their play.
Yeah, don't be surprised if we see Matt Ryan getting over Eli Manning. Don't be surprised.
I've said that too. I've absolutely, I 100% agree. Before I let you go, there was a comment that was made here by our good friend Trey. He said, "Do you think Steve Smith or Luke Kuechly could get into the Hall of Fame?" I don't think Luke will. Luke was a great defensive player, absolutely one of the best. Yeah. But I don't think he's got. Now, if I had to choose between Steve Smith and Luke Kuechly, I'm going to say Steve Smith. What do you think, Lance?
Well, Kuechly was sidelined due to injuries, and that's what short-circuited his career. But as somebody that watched Luke Kuechly's entire career, and I don't have his numbers in front of me, but he, to me, and I've said this in conversation, he is one of the best cover linebackers in NFL history. And how do you qualify and quantify that is my point, meaning I don't know whether his passes defense are going to do his game justice, but if you go back and you just watch film of Carolina and how they utilized him, they would have him drop back in coverage. And I would say Luke Kuechly was just as reliable as a cornerback if you had him matched up on a tight end or a wide receiver out of the slot. And once again, that's an optics test that I'm judging him based on because I was around for his entire career. Steve Smith, I think, based on his longevity, his highlights, doing it with Carolina, doing it with Baltimore, it's hard to bring his career down. I think he certainly has a strong case. I don't think those guys are first ballot Hall of Famers, but I do think they make cases that eventually they should get in and it should not be viewed or be considered controversial.
Yeah, you're up to it. All right, so Shane, you have the last question, man. Go ahead, ask.
It better be good, Shane. This is big, man. Big shoes.
Well, this is going to be big, and it's kind of off topic for us because, I want to kind of veer away from the sports side of it. Man, you live in the biggest city in America. lovely New York City. I've got a cousin that lives up there. He's a member of the FBI in that area, lives in Manhattan. But
now I know who to call if I ever get into trouble.
Oh, well,
Call Shane.
I don't know. I've tried to use that line before, but I don't know if he really goes for it. He's kind of a straight-laced guy.
Understandable. Okay.
But
I'll rely on my own contacts. That's okay. I see a no when I hear it. Yeah.
Well, only one can tell because we're down here in the South and then he's up there. So, hey, you might have a little bit more pull than we got.
But listen, that could be debated. You'll have me on in a future program and we'll have that, who has more weight and pull when it comes to New York City legalities. But please go ahead, Shane. The floor is yours. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I just want to kind of give our audience, a kind of broader view of the city as a whole. I visited, once before. And absolutely loved it. But can you give these audience members kind of an insight on New York City outside of the tourist traps that we always see in Times Square and Broadway and Empire State Building, Lady Liberty, all that kind of stuff?
Well, it's interesting. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. New York City has 5 boroughs, which I don't know if enough outsiders, as I'll call them, are privy to. You've got Brooklyn, you've got the Bronx, you've got Queens, you've got Manhattan, and then you have Staten Island, which I don't consider a borough, but we'll wait for a rainy day for me to go over all of that, as I may or may not insult some of your viewers, or at least your future viewers. But back to the point at hand, the reason why I say that is New York City is huge, and Brooklyn can be a state on its own in terms of the size. And when you throw out New York City, Shane, and you bring up the tourist attractions and so forth, I think everybody equates that to Manhattan, the main island that is always the biggest attraction. But if you go to other boroughs, specifically Brooklyn, where I grew up, there's a lot of residential areas. And if you were outside of New York City and you went to Brooklyn, you wouldn't even know necessarily that you were in New York. You could be in any other state that has residential areas where there are houses and apartment buildings. And I mean, it's not all of a sudden these big, humongous office buildings that are lining up even in the other boroughs, even though Brooklyn does have a hub where that does exist. But my point is, there's a lot to enjoy that's quiet, and it's not fast paced and not stressful for individuals that may not like that. I'm used to it. I yearn for the fast pacedness. If you put me in an area where there's too many trees, I get nervous. Okay. So I can't be put in those settings.
You wouldn't love it here for sure.
Well, listen, and through my travels down south, I have, like most of the areas. I'm going down to Alabama in a week or two to call a college football game. So I will certainly prepare myself mentally to see maybe a few additional trees. Don't worry, I have a process. But the point is, I think there's a lot to like about New York City that's not that rah-rah, fast-paced, people on top of one another left and right. It's a matter of, if you're going to come to Manhattan, even if you're a tourist, my recommendation would be you could find other activities in other boroughs like Brooklyn, which to me would be atop the list, even though my biasness. And I think that you'll see a different light of NYC, if that answers your question to a certain degree.
Yeah, completely.
I love it. Lance, I got to say, man, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, of Matt and Shane. We really appreciate you spending the time that you did with us on your Friday evening. Can you let everybody know where they can find you?
Sure. On social media, it's at Lance Meadow, and the last name is, as it's showing up right now, it's Medow. There is no A. If you have an itch or an urge to put in an A, you are not welcome to follow me on social media. There are rules and protocols. It's Medow, but I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. So you can catch all of my work. I promote all my shows. I'm on ESPN Radio now. I was on Sirius XM for 15 years. I'm doing obviously a lot of play-by-play work, do work for the New York Giants. So I welcome everybody aboard. It's not too late to join the Lance Meadow bandwagon wherever you reside. and whoever you're a fan of. I'm an equal opportunist. I criticize all and I welcome all, and I'll leave it at that.
Lance, man, I had a blast. Sorry I didn't get to spend as much time. Like I said, coming to transition down here has been a little bit, and it poured literally the entire way down here. So it was just, it's not fun. But man, you had yourself a wonderful weekend. We're gonna have you on again in the future. If you would love to come on, we'd really appreciate it. Sound good?
Absolutely. No, I'd be happy to come on. I appreciate you guys having me on. Enjoyed the conversation, and look forward to doing it again in the future. So thanks so much.
Yeah, man. You take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.
You as well, guys. Take care. Yep.
You
Bye.
too.
Appreciate it.
All right, so that was really cool. By the way, shout out to Matt and Shane for holding it down while I was trying to get this situation settled. My mom changed the Wi-Fi, everything, and so I was having to go through that one. All right, so we have a very fun second half of the show to lined up. I'm going to put a screenshot up real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, this is the Heisman Trophy line. It's the four. These are the four favorites. They're according to BetMGM. Okay. Obviously, Matt's favorite guy is literally mentioned right there on the first line. However, there is a name right below, Cade Klubnik. I've heard a lot of people say this is basic because this is Cade's last year, but this is the make it or break it, and people are saying he could wrap it up and win the Heisman.
And those odds have changed since you uploaded that picture too. By the way,
of course, that's just how it goes. But I want to go to you real quick, Matt. I'm going to put the list up again. Those are the four. If you had to choose,
I don't need the list anymore.
You don't need the list anymore. Okay, so who is your favorite, Matt?
First of all, a normal person. All right, Arch. It's not going to be Arch. It's not going to be Arch. Actually, my favorite is Jeremiah Smith to win this award. With Arch, I don't think that he's going to have the numbers. I don't think his numbers are going to be that of a Heisman candidate. He's not going to have crazy, outlandish passing numbers. Or he's still kind of I'm not going to say he's a dual threat, but he hasn't proven anything through the air yet. Is pretty much what I'm saying. And Cade Klubnik, look, man. Klubnik is going to Klubnik. Man. He's going to start off strong, and then he's just going to throw an interception to lose them a game, and then he's going to turn into
I don't know, because Clemson is rated as one of the higher opportunities to win the whole thing this year.
I mean, they were rated high last year. They were rated high year before.
No, they weren't actually. No. 2 years ago, it was actually well documented. It was rated as one of their worst statistical years coming into that season. Last year, it was a better opportunity. However, Clemson did what Clemson did. Yeah, they Clemsoned, and everybody knows the term. Clemson is Clemsoning. However, this year they are favored to win every game.
I like Klubnik. I like Klubnik, man, but I just think that he's going to do what he does and throw a big pick in the big game. They almost, man. I don't know. He got to show me something different. But I'm gonna go with the safe bet. I'm gonna go with Jeremiah Smith. I mean, they're gonna have.
Is it just because he's Ohio State or what?
No. He put up crazy numbers as a freshman. He can't be stopped. There's no DB in the country that's gonna be able to cover this guy. No DB can cover him last year, and those guys got drafted. There's no DB in the country that can cover this kid. So, I think he's gonna get it.
All right. What about you, Shane? I know you're biting at the bullet on this one. Please, man, I want to hear your thoughts on this list, and then also give us who your Heisman favorite is.
Oh yeah, well, on this list, we first of all we're going to talk about Arch. He's been odds-on Heisman favorite kind of since the end of the college football playoff. I'm extremely interested to see what he can do. I'm kind of with Matt. The favorites don't win normally. When you talk about this award, Cade Klubnik, right there, his odds changed to plus 900 now. So obviously, when his odds went down, some bets came in. If he can keep his turnover ratio down the way he did last year, and especially with him bringing back basically the whole receiving core that he had last year with that 36 touchdown, 6 interception season that he had. You know, I mean, he was. They invited 4 to New York for the Heisman finalists, and he was number 5. So,
Wow.
so you got to put him up there. You know, with that list, Jeremiah Smith, I kind of took a deeper dive into the favorites. You really only have Love out of Notre Dame being mentioned in the top 10 as far as position players, other than him and Jeremiah Smith, as far as the Heisman race. Jeremiah Smith, I believe, might take a hit just because he's going to be the double team guy, and they've got a quarterback that's got to prove himself. Yet be it, he is still on the Heisman list in the top 10 because that's Ohio State quarterbacks. But we're not going to go there. Levitt, Arizona State, had a great running game last year. Can he replicate the success that he had last year without the running game that Scatterboo?
Yeah, let's just
produced?
see what happens without Scatterboo. That's going to be the
That's
question.
gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting.
So and then I'm going to go ahead and give you like 2 Heisman. I don't want to say long shots, but I think will be finalists as quarterbacks is Lagway and Aller. Aller's 3-year starter at Penn State and has that double-headed back system that they have, which I mean, you could.
Why didn't you say Lenore Sellers though?
Well, he's next on my list.
Okay.
They got to. But
I'm literally doing this. I'm like, wait for him to say so I can do the Lenore Sellers. Here's the next one.
Well, but those are proven starters that I say have as a Heisman hopeful could get it done. Lagway, just his pure athleticism. If he can get rid of the bad games, because he's, you know, in all seriousness, he is Anthony Richardson. If he can get rid of the bad games and the injuries, then he'll be up there. Aller, 3-year starter. If their running game is great, and I mean, there's flashes of him being great, but he's not consistent.
Nope. That is very true.
And then
we saw it a lot.
And then, as you mentioned, Lenore Sellers. Will be a Heisman hopeful and a Heisman favorite, and will potentially be a Heisman finalist as long as he played the same way he did the last 6 games of the season when he was healthy.
Yes, because if you I mean, we all know football is a game of inches. We absolutely, and if you don't know that, you're living under a rock. But
and
I mean,
he's
Lenore
got
just has one
inches.
Bad game. It's going to take one opportunity for him to have a bad game. And I mean, if he has just one.
He's got plenty of inches to him in that big frame that he's got. And, you know, arguably coming into the season, you see a lot of comparisons to him and Cam Newton. They can be true. And so that's why I put him up there. But I'm going to go ahead and give you all a name to put your money down on right now. Dante Moore, transfer quarterback out of UCLA, going to Oregon this year.
I've heard his name mentioned on that too as a surprise.
Dan Lanning is a transfer quarterback guru. Yeah. I mean, he's transformed Bo Nix, he's transformed Dylan Gabriel, but both of them made it in New York.
Yep. So
why not make it number 3 right here? So if I was a bet man, I'd put it down on him. $5-10 bet, 2,500 odds.
That's the better right there.
So,
and look, Matt's just like, yep. You know, I like that choice. All right, so obviously, I'm gonna touch this, and I'm gonna go to the next topic. Shout out to the University of Nevada athletics. They announced the opening of their new $28 million indoor practice facility, literally for every sport, not just football.
The field house.
Yeah, it's real quick. I'm going to ask both of you just yes or no answers. Okay, don't go into deep because of time and everything. Do you think other universities should follow suit and have multi indoor practice facilities for weather related purposes? Matt, yes or no?
Absolutely, yeah.
What do you think, Shane? Yes or no?
Every major program has gone to it, so why not?
I like that. All right, so here's the next one I'm going to give to you guys. Okay, this is according to On3 and the Associated Press, the top 25 most underrated teams since 2014. It's actually a pretty significant list. But, I'm going to ask you, Matt, would you add? Would you subtract? Who would you add and who would you subtract if you could? Same thing with you, Shane. Add and subtract. Start with you, Matt.
Now, are these teams do we know what year these teams are? Are these teams for this year?
No.
This is since 2014.
Oh, this is since 2014.
Yes.
It's football, right?
Yeah, it's football.
Ooh. Well, that's a long time. A lot of teams, a lot of disappointments, a lot of man.
And if you look at the bottom, Army and Navy are tied.
I see that. I'm pretty sure there are teams that need to be added on here.
Give me two that you would add.
Underrated teams, two underrated.
Yes.
There was a year that Duke football had a good. It was North Carolina football. North Carolina football had a really good year. Excuse me. They had that. What was that freshman name? What was that 1 year guy? He ended up getting Trubisky. They had Trubisky, I believe.
Mr. Trubisky.
Yeah. Excuse me. They were very underrated that year, man. People took them as jokes, and they were kind of beating people. They had that running back too that ended up going to Cincinnati. The small Giovanni Bernard. They had Giovanni Bernard as well. So that another underrated team. I'm sorry, I can't think of another one right now, man. Not to take anyone from that list, but I wish they had the years what year Yale they're talking about.
I think this is overall. Well, the first one is by BYU.
Well, I'm sorry, BYU. What year BYU are they talking about? I mean,
this is overall combined since 2014 up until last season. As the most underrated team is BYU, which I agree 100% with BYU on that being number one, because they have so much potential every year, and every year they really know how to let you down. I mean, you have to let's go back a few years back when Zach Wilson was the quarterback at BYU. He gets touted as one of the best because he's the second overall pick. He ends up being one of the biggest busts. Unless you're a mom of every football player, then he's the GOAT of all that. Because I mean, he dates everybody's mother. I'm just saying. Speculation. I'm just saying. On that one.
Have you seen some of these moms?
I've seen them, boy. I've seen them.
Just saying.
I've seen them. Trust me. I've seen them. Man, where were these teachers and moms at when we were kids, Brandon?
I know, right? Like, come on, man. Like, really?
Those aren't the moms and teachers that we had, man. I promise you that. I promise you that, man.
That's just like the same thing with the teachers back then. It was the older generational teachers.
Yeah,
now
with the old one.
The new hotness. And I'm going to quote Will Smith from Men in Black, the new hotness, old busted. That's just what goes on that one. Woo. So let's go to you. Let's go to you, Shane. I'm going to put the list back up. I know we can't see it, but real quick. You see the list. Do you agree with it, or would you add? Who would you add, or who would you subtract on that list?
Well, I'm in agreement with you. Definitely BYU wholeheartedly, but deserves to be number one on this list. But based on recent success and everything that they've had, but Tulane and Mizzou, I think that they should be a little bit higher on the list.
Well, look what Tulane has done. You and I have alluded to this. Gosh, I've run out of fingers and toes. We've alluded to this so much. Tulane has done a lot. Missouri,
Mizzou in the same sense.
They've come up at the pivotal moments.
yeah, I think that they should be shifted up there, especially with what Northwestern at number 2. I think that they should be kind of back there. Iowa's always been a perennial powerhouse, but unless they have a quarterback or anybody that's going to be drafted in the first round, they're consistently not in the top 25.
Well, and they don't score but 20 points a game. Just being realistic on that too.
Well, yeah, that. But you know, you get kind of outside the top 10. I start looking at it. Oklahoma State, Arizona, Ole Miss. Those 3 teams. They are what we expect them to be. So how can we call them underrated? I guess you put them up
Maybe
there.
It's their level of their competition.
Well, it's the competition compared to the upset wins versus the should have won but didn't kind of deal. So those 3 teams, I think, should be kicked out, in my opinion.
Okay.
And 3 teams that you look to replace them with. I'm going to go, group of 5 mid-major kind of schools. I'm going to go with, and they're all kind of local, but they've all had recent success. And one of them maybe sustained success throughout the years as being a upset-prone kind of team. But James Madison, App State, and Liberty. Liberty and Coastal Carolina were kind of right there on my list together, but Liberty's had more sustained success throughout, and that kind of brought me to them. But I say you replace the Power 4 schools with these group of 5s on underrated schools because they can play with the big boys. I'm a Virginia Tech fan. I personally know what James Madison can do to you.
I agree. And fans who are watching, I know this is a slow night, but it's okay. We're happy you're here tuning in with us. Let us know what you think. Should they add more schools to this list? Should they subtract? And if they should subtract, who should they move? Let us know. Shane's got a sports story that he's going to share with us. Shane, the floor is yours, man.
Oh yeah. Well, as everybody well knows by now, I'm a true NASCAR fan, and we saw the inexplicable happen during the Winter Circle celebration during the Xfinity Series last week. I'm sorry, at Watkins Glen with Connor Zilisch. It was just kind of a freak accident.
How did he not tear his ACL, man? How?
So
that was horrific.
So, and it's kind of funny because he did his regular celebration with the burnouts and everything else, and then climbed on top of his roof, out of his window, and everything else on the front stretch. But then got to the winter circle and started climbing out and climbed out, and his foot just kind of, the window netting just kind of slipped, and he got his foot hung up, and he went shoulder first into concrete, and eventually broke his collarbone. But all signs are to him being healthy, other than the broken collarbone. So that's great for a racer as far as no leg injuries, the way he had it caught up and everything else like that. But NASCAR has also come out and already said that we're not going to limit the celebrations in Victory Lane and all that. So they kind of realized this was a freak accident. It could happen again, but hey, to each his own. The risk, right? So you do that, and then Connor Zilisch, he can afford an injury. That this was his 6th race that he's won this year, so he's got plenty of playoff points and everything to boost them to when he can get healthy and race again.
I don't know, man. That fall though, that's still it's cringeworthy because I've torn my ACL and I tore my MCL and I mean it looked
he thought he broke
gruesome.
his femur.
The way if you look, it's like he turned it just perfectly enough to prevent it from happening, but still, cringe.
Yeah, he turned it just enough to land straight on that shoulder and break that collarbone, but the reverse would have been worse for him.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely. All right, Matt, I know you got a small short story. Unmute your mic and tell everybody, man, this story you want to share with everybody, please, sir.
It's a very, 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 very short story, guys. I'm gonna keep it. This is in honor of our guest today. Who is from New York. In the grand world of baseball, things haven't been pleasant for the Atlanta Braves. It hasn't been pleasant at all. However, there's a team they call themselves the New York Mets, and they have lost 13 of their last 15 games.
Collapses every year. But go ahead.
And I wish I was able to talk to our guest more about this, but he had to leave due to time constraints. We understand, but the Mets, you can't explain it, but it's a phenomenon that has plagued that city. That particular town since the 80s, pretty much since the 70s, 80s, man. Where the New York Mets are going to New York Met. And Met they have met a loss.
after losses.
I think the record now stands at like 64 and 56, 64 and 57 or something like that. After they just lost 2 out of 3 to the Atlanta Braves. The next couple
Braves
games they
absolutely own the Metropolitans, by the way.
They did. The first game of the series, the Mets they beat down the Braves 13-5. Things were seemed like they were gonna be on the up and up, but the Mets met it again and they lost the next game 11-6, and then they followed that up with the 4-3 loss to Atlanta.
And
so
they were up 6-0 to Atlanta.
Yes. So the moral of the story is us as Braves fans, we just want to say thank you, Mets, for taking the heat off of us. That's it.
I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh, yes. The Mets and their annual collapse has commenced.
Right on cue.
Right on
schedule.
Hey, let's give our honorable mentions. I have quite a few. I'm going to give a quick mention, actually. 2 of them to Atlanta Braves. One of them is the Braves have won like 8 of their last 10 games. And they're still a long they have a 0.2% chance of making the postseason, but
there's still a chance.
There's still a chance, and however, they're starting to play spoiler for a lot. So I'm okay with it. Also, I gotta give a shout out, by the way. Names are starting to be mentioned as Snit's replacement. Everybody does. If you don't know, all indications are that Snit is retiring at the end of this year for the Atlanta Braves. Well, one name was mentioned, and he has not said no, but he has not said yes, which was Chipper Jones. However, a name that was just mentioned, actually, there's 2 names, and I'm reading them right now. They were mentioned today. You ready to hear this? David Ross is mentioned as a possible, and Mark DeRosa. God, DeRosa, man, I used to love watching him bat.
Just mentioned. I've heard about them for weeks.
No, the reason why they're just mentioned is because they're the hottest names right now, because they're also listed for other teams.
I've heard about them for weeks, and from what I've heard is that the Braves would be their top destination.
Yep. There's others that are also, competing by basically vying for their attention. Matt, give your honorable mention, please.
Yes, my honorable mention is going to go to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James, Tom Brady, Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson. I'm even going to go back to Bartolo Colon,
Big Sexy,
Roger Federer, Bernard Hopkins, Jeremy Yeager. The reason why I mention these guys, they all have one thing in common. They excelled in their sports being over 40 years of age. For those who don't know, I turned 40 years of age yesterday. Okay, I turned 40 years of age. Oh no, you have to hear this. You have to hear this. So, where I was at, there were stairs.
Did you soil yourself?
There were stairs where I was at, and for the first time in my adult life, I fell down a flight of stairs.
I'm falling. I can't get up.
I felt 40.
Hey, I'm about to get you a necklace. It's called Life Alert.
I love it.
Look, man. I mean,
I'm falling and I can't get up.
As I was laying on my derriere, if I was laying on my derriere on the bottom for 5 minutes, just reflecting on life in general and everything that I've been through at life, and how I got, and it's wondering how I got like mollywopped by one single step. How I got mollywopped by one single step. It put things into perspective. Hey guys, respect these athletes that play after 40 because it's not an easy thing to do. I can't even get downstairs anymore. And these guys are professional athletes and doing it big. So respect those athletes over 40 game.
I need to find the walker and give it to me.
Oh, I need it. I'm hurting. I'm hurting right now, man. I'm hurting. I'm probably gonna go to the doctor tomorrow. I'm probably going to go to the doctor tomorrow, to be honest with you. I'm seriously going to go to the doctor tomorrow because I'm hurting right now. So, yeah.
Shane, you can't really top this up. I mean, give us your honorable mentions, please.
Hey, honorable mentions being under 40. And then I have to go through that. but in all seriousness, hey, shout out to the NBA. I don't know if anybody catched it, but definitely the new season schedule dropped.
Shout out to Oklahoma OKC with 34 nationally televised games, by the way.
Oh yeah, that, and then Atlanta, they had a big streamer or something like that. Dan something, he went live 24 hours. For the reveal and everything else, it was great. But shout out, hey, we've got a schedule now, so now we know when it's going to start, and now we can just build up to it.
Amen to that one. Hey, I got to give a shout out, guys, to the University of Hawaii. They finally came to an agreement, guys. Yes, it has been officially announced. And I got to talk to everybody that hires up because we were supposed to go to opening day with the new Aloha Stadium built. It's officially slated to open March 2029, but a stadium has been agreed on. The Rust Bucket is starting to be torn down next week. Shout out to University of Hawaii for getting it. Matt, what's your next? Obviously we can't top up the fact that you turned 40, but tell us your next honorable mention, please.
That was pretty much my honorable mention right there, man. To be honest with you, but nah, man, my next one, man, definitely as I always do, man. And we'll elaborate on this in a bit. But my honorable mention is going to go to fantasy sports, man. Fantasy sports is about to be up and kicking again, and I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Matt's rankings, weekly rankings that I'm gonna have. They're gonna drop every Tuesday. Every Tuesday after Monday Night Football, man, the day after Monday Night Football, I'm gonna have the new rankings up, man. And I'll post them up on Twitter every Tuesday, and then we'll talk about it on the show for a little bit. But yep, fantasy football is coming back, guys.
I'll believe it when I see it when Matthew posts on social media.
Hey, we're gonna do it. We're gonna be getting there. Baby steps. Hey, man, slow motion is better than no motion. Remember that.
Says the man who got beat up by a step.
Yeah, man, the steps took me out, man. Steps took me out.
Absolutely. Shane, give us your next honorable mention, please, sir.
Well, I guess my next honorable mention, I guess we'll go along the lines of Matt getting old and everything over 40.
We're just making fun of Matt now.
but man, I encourage everybody to go out there and if they're a sports fan, much like we are, to go and read some biographies. I've recently got into a couple of them with Bo Jackson and Yogi Berra. And man, let me tell you the stories that are portrayed in these books, and that you can actually, like, you close your eyes, you actually feel like you're there in some of these stories that they
That's when you
have.
know it hits you right the right way.
Yeah, if you're a sports fan and you love a certain athlete or a certain team, go out and find yourself a book on that team, and just research and learn. Uh, that's kind of what I've been doing. I was a catcher, and was an undersized catcher my whole life, and so the story of Yogi kind of hits home. Kind of taken back from the non-education and the yogiisms as we know them as today. That came about through the years. So it's great to hear, and I encourage anybody out there to do the same.
Absolutely. I have quite a few shout outs I'm going to give. I got to give a shout out to my stepdad, Dave. Those who know, he does have Stella? Has a degenerative brain disorder. And unfortunately his time here is not going to be much longer, but he has been the better part of in my life for over 30 years. Fantastic. Matt has met him many times. Shane has met him many a times. It's Dave is a very unique individual. We're down here because an emergency happened. I'm not going to go too in detail. Just if you guys keep your loved ones close, hold them tightly, and also just say little prayers for my stepdad. I greatly appreciate it. But then another shout out I got to give though is to Addison. Actually, she is battling through adversity. She's having to do travel ball at the same time as her regular softball season, and she's doing okay. She's in a little bit of a slump. She's actually started the season 0 for 7 on hitting, but again, we've only done scrimmages, so they don't necessarily count. So, but I want to give a shout out to her, and I got to give a shout out though to Matt and Shane. Both of them, the success that this show has generated is unprecedented, y'all. We are over 2,070 subscribers on our YouTube channel. And, I kept telling it was coming. It was coming. It's coming. Matt kept telling me it's coming. Don't worry. Shane even said, don't worry. We're about to take off, and it's going to be like any level of success. And here we are. So I'm tipping my cap. I'm raising my my cup to both Shane and Matt for the success that the Sportz Nutz has done. Here is to many, many, many more achievements and announcements that are coming.
I will say Brandon's probably the only one drinking water right now.
Yeah. So, but there's a reason why I'm that, because I just drove.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we have had absolute.
No. But Brandon, of course, man. Like I said, man, we just gotta stay the course, man. We stay the course, and everything will turn out just fine, man. We just gotta show consistency. Consistency is the biggest thing. You show consistency, which we have been consistent. Good things will come, which they are, and they will be. So, hey, man, just gotta keep it moving. Don't look about what we can get. Just take it day by day, one day at a time, one episode at a time, man. We'll be fine.
That's right. And we're only gonna get bigger and better. And I cannot tell you, I am.
We're gonna keep doing it no matter what.
That's right. But I'm also excited for what. By the way, Stella is over here snoring as loud as she can. But I can tell you guys, I'm excited for what the future holds, and I cannot say thank you enough for being a part of this team. I got to let you guys know, we have a couple, actually a slate of really big episodes coming, and I'm ready to get going right here. All right, next Tuesday, yes, the 19th, we will have Casey Ditzel. Who is he with? He is the play-by-play announcer for the ECHL franchise, the Greensboro Gargoyles. Yes, the hockey franchise. Casey is going to be joining us. I'm excited. Yeah, the messages him and I have gone back and forth with. He's got a lot of energy. I'm excited to hear this interview with him. Cannot wait. Then real quick, this one I'm actually honored. She got back to me. Matt, you were on with the last time she came on. Our good friend on Wednesday the 20th. Yes, the next day. Maddie Hudak, SI.com beat writer for Tulane University. She is joining our show to talk some, what else? Tulane football. Come on. Football. Dadgummit. She's here. I'm excited for this one. And then the following week, the big one's here, y'all. Tuesday, August 26th, we have Mr. Invincible himself, Vince Papale, the legend that movie is named after for him. Mark Wahlberg played. Vince Papale is joining us to talk to us about football and life in general. And then this one just came down today at 3:00. It is Friday, September the 5th. We have the owner of the Morehead City Marlins, the Collegiate Summer Baseball League based in Morehead City, North Carolina. Buddy is joining us to talk some baseball. Matt was also there when we had the Carolina Disco Turkeys. I asked Matt, they don't play at the Disco Turkeys, but all right, I need to read this message to you, okay? This is actually going to be really cool. The Marlins actually went massively viral. This is according to Buddy. It went viral this past year with the launch of our newest alter ego, the Crystal Coast Booty Divers. He's going to explain about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yes, it is a G-rated. I promise you, it's not going to be G-rated. But guys, as you see, we have an absolutely stacked several episodes coming up. Matt, here in the lineup that I just told you, give me two that you circled now, knowing that that's the ones you absolutely are beyond excited about. I mean, obviously all of them, but which two are you most excited for?
Well, I mean, of course I'm excited for all of them, man. But I can't wait to get to talk to Maddie again about Tulane and what she's been up to. It's been like over a year since she was on the show.
Yeah, it's been a year, yeah.
So just looking forward to that, man. And really, I'm really looking forward to everybody else as well, man. I know it's cliche, but I'll look forward to every episode. There's always something new. You always get mixed with current events with what's going on right now, with guests. So.
I forgot another one too. September the 3rd. It is a tentative agreement. Sean Alexander, the former Seattle Seahawks running back, is tentatively agreed to come on our show. It is a Wednesday, September the 3rd. Fingers crossed it comes to light. But Shane, you've heard the lineup that's coming. Can you give me one or two that you absolutely are circled and say, man, that's going to be an absolute amazing? I mean, they're all going to be good, but which one are you looking forward to the most?
Man, as you said, they're all going to be good. So I've got them all circled. I mean,
yeah, I'm excited.
As you know, I should already have all the invites accepted on the calendar. So I'm ready to get into it. I mean, it's great that we've got these big name guests coming on. I guess in my small town kind of dialect, who would have thunk it?
That's right.
Just three average guys sitting there talking about sports, and we get these great opportunities that we have. So definitely in debt to Brandon and Matt and everybody that supports the Sportz Nutz to make this happen. And so can only look forward to this and much more in the future for sure.
Absolutely, and we're going to continue bringing you guys great stuff. Look, we're only just getting started with season 4. Season 5, Matt's already teased he's working a little bit on some introduction and outro on that one. But Matt, you teased a little bit ago about it. Real quick, when is the fantasy football draft again? And I believe we have 2, or is it 2 or 3 slots left?
We have 4 because we have 8. We just need 4 more left. 4 more slots. You should be able to go ahead and pay the $10 now. If you go to the website, go up to the Yahoo website. If you go on a computer on the right hand side, you'll see something that says "Pay your dues." So you should be able to pay the $10 now, guys. I got to text some people back. Some people text me or email me about that as well. I got to text them back. But the draft is on the 31st. The 31st, which is a Sunday, I believe, at 7:00 p.m. That's kind of the default time. You know, we might change it, you know, here and there. If we change it, it's still gonna be the same day. It might be a different time. But yeah, man. Yeah, guys. Draft's coming up, man. Let's kind of get everything, you know, ready to roll, man. I'll go ahead and make it public. So really the next 4 people that join is it. That's it. We're locked in.
Yeah. Unless we get more interest, then we'll have a second league.
I will also, I do need to mention this because this is actually real. This is according to our friend Marcus McCallum. If you live in a restricted state like Michigan, where he lives, unfortunately, you can't enter. It is based because if this is a private prize league, it is not league. It is not constituted as legal. This is actually, and I'm going to show you the picture. Get it loaded up here.
Man, he can't. Man, what?
Yeah, he can't.
So if you can't do FanDuel, you can't do.
There you go. See? Yeah, there it is, right there.
So you can't do FanDuel. You can't do fantasy money.
Yeah, it says you can't do it. So I don't know if there's.
I don't know, man. I live in Georgia. Georgia, you can't do. Georgia gambling isn't legal in Georgia, but yet I can still do like the Sleeper app, and I can do my parlays and stuff from there. So,
I know FanDuel. Everything's legal up here.
Yeah, I think I can do FanDuel.
It's weird. It's weird. It literally. All right. So here's what it says. We're sorry, but you appear to be trying to register for your private prize league from a restricted location or state. Restricted state is Michigan. If you believe you do meet all eligible requirements, you need to contact customer care and let them know where you're located.
Dang, that's crazy. Can't even do fantasy football money leagues. Oh man, Michigan, what is going on?
Yeah, that's what it says. But we hey, y'all still sign up. Come on, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Get the chance to talk smack to Matt. Yeah, unless you're Michigan.
Obviously.
Get a chance to talk smack to Matt and to Shane and myself, to everybody who's involved. Guys, for everybody who tuned in, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We absolutely appreciate what you guys do. And look, obviously, it was a slow night. Weather does play a factor, and school did start back for literally the entire world. And on the East Coast specifically. West Coast, I believe, is next week.
Not yet. 25th here.
Yeah, so it's there. So with that being said, for our good friend Lance Meadow, Matt, what do you tell everybody not to get done, sir?
Yeah, guys, don't get flagged. It's the weekend coming up. Got preseason football, things like that. Don't get flagged in the game of life. If you're gonna drink, do it at home or get an Uber. Don't drink and drive. Last thing you want is the whoops coming up behind you, because once they come up behind you, it's not a good sight, guys. Not a good sight. You don't want to get locked up. You don't want to do any of that. So, just don't get flagged.
That's right. And Shane, what do you tell everybody not to do, sir?
Hey man,
as always,
it's a pleasure. And hey man, may the good Lord bless you. Peace, love, and bacon grease.
Yes, peace, love, and bacon grease indeed. As I always tell you guys, peace up, A-Town down Y. It's the greatest sports city there ever was. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons. They are losing 13-3 against the Tennessee Titans, but football's back. So excited, and they are playing the fourth stringer, so it doesn't matter to me. But hey, football's back.
So Kirk Cousins is in.
Hey, if he is, he is. I haven't a chance to watch because we're driving. But yeah, hey, shout out. Also, by the way, shout out to Snowman. Snowman has his network's about to start. Shout out to him and all those who are a part of it. I will be joining with him to write articles. I will be posting articles. Yes, I write. I'm a writer. I know how to do this stuff. So, and it's not chicken scratch. I promise you. Don't listen to what Matthew says, because he's sitting here going to say it is.
You can write?
You know what? Go fall down the stair again, please.
Oh, man. I wish that.
My last honorable mention is the step that took out the great Matthew Thomas. I had to do that. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, as you know, we've been talking about this. Buford High School's $62.5 million football complex aired its greatness last night against Milton High School. Milton lost.
Oh yeah,
Buford won 20-13.
Yeah.
You got to see that promo video.
Yeah, that promo video is pretty elite. Absolutely beautiful stadium, by the way. Shout out to Buford, which, by the way, as of right now, it's a possibility that September the 5th, Matt and I might, just depends on how everything goes with the show as well, but we might go make a run to Buford and watch Buford play Roswell.
We should. We
do have we do have our episode September 5th, but we'll see. Hey, you guys have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful weekend. Remember, love your family tight, hold them tight, close, and everything, and be safe. Don't do anything stupid. You guys have a wonderful weekend, wonderful evening. We'll see you Tuesday, 7:30. We'll talk to you then, and good night.
Join the 40 Club, Shane.
4